Hello, everyone. I've kind of been missing in action with December Daily this year. We have had some really cloudy days here in Iowa, and the one time that I've had to really work on my album is sort of late at night. I kind of wind down to finishing up my album for the day. So I have been keeping up with it, but I haven't had a chance to get some really good photos without some really awful shadows. So today we've got maybe a tiny bit of sun peering out, but I'm actually looking at the book in a windowsill in one of the bedrooms. So ignore the rocks outside. Here we are. And here's my album. So I'm going to show you days 1 through 12 today. This is my Felicity Jane album that I decided to use this year. It was a release from last year, so they're not selling these, unfortunately, this year. But this was the album from last year. They do have some pretty cute ones this year as well. Here is my Reason Why page. You've seen this before on my prep pages. And it does have this little pull-out here that has a cute little quote that kind of went along with my sentiment. It says, appreciate this moment. Stop and look around you. Be thoughtful for all you have and where you are, because this time next year, nothing will be the same. And I feel like that's so true, especially when you have small children or just anybody, but small children, everything seems to change so quickly. And then I used my story number 1 as my Remember December or my Reason Why. I just did that as my story number 1 and added a photo of the kids here. And this cute little acrylic Remember December. I don't even know where that came from. It's just something out of my stash. Our first official actual story, but number 2, is putting up our Christmas tree. So the journaling is on the back of that tree. And that tree was an Allie cutout from last year. And I cut out a piece of chipboard and then just lined it with paper on both sides. A little rubber embellishment there. And then putting up our Christmas tree here. The kids had a lot of fun with that. They have their own little trees in their rooms. And so this year my son announced that he was a boy and his tree did not need a tree skirt. Instead, it had a hat and apparently a big ball. So he got a big kick out of that. And we all laughed pretty hard. And they just had the best time decorating their own trees this year. And let's see, story number 3. For some reason, once again, my kids always love going to Menards. Nothing kicks off the holiday like them, like a march through the lights section at Menards at the to see the Santas. They like to look at all of the little things, and then they like to wrap it up with a dance or a walk through the lights and looking at all the pre-lit trees. So there they are, once again, having that little moment, and they were really hams this year, so we got some good photos of them. My next story is giving everyone their advent calendars for the season. I did a beer advent calendar for my husband, so it has days 1 through 25 and 25 different beers of the style that he likes that I picked out. You would be surprised how many liquor stores will just sell one single bottle. There's a lot of stores online as well. You can read more about that on my blog. I did a blog post about this whole advent. And then the kids each got a chocolate one, and then we do our family one as a whole with all of our activities. And I also did a blog post about this, but this is our calendar, and it's printable on that post if it's something that you like to do. And it just tells our activities for the advent calendar for the family. And this year and on the back of it, I did journaling, kind of telling about the advent calendar and what I had planned for them. We did a lot of our typical activities that we do to remember the season. And I also added a lot of random acts of kindness this year. Like when we go to see Santa, we plan to tape quarters to all the vending machines so kids can have a surprise. We taped a package of popcorn onto the red box when we went to go get our Christmas movie this year. Just little things like that. We went and jingled our friends, which meant we left treats on the front porch, and then we ran away, and that ended up being a whole nother story that I have to tell in this December Daily as my daughter was dashing through the dark losing her shoes, and it was kind of a calamity. But that's coming up. So this was Advent, day 4. Story number 5 is when we started our Jessie tree project. Again, this is something that I blogged about. So if you're interested in doing something like that, it's this little shake and seek Jessie tree ornament that we're making, and we're putting it together each day as we read one of those stories from the Bible. And this was a product play class project from last year from Allie Edwards. It was an embellishment tree, so I just used embellishments I had and kind of did my own version of that. Day 6, we have a small town festival where they light the town tree. They have horse carriage rides, and they open up this old caboose that's in the park, and you can walk through, and it's all lit up with lights. And then Santa arrives in the fire truck, and you get to visit with him if you'd like to. So this was our day 6, and my story for this day, it's pictures of that event, but my story this day is actually how we've lived here for 7 years, and all of a sudden over the last 2 or 3 years, this has become home to us. We start referring to our town as home instead of the town that we came here from. So that was what my story was about this time, that this is becoming home to us. And I'm not sure when that switch happened, but it is. So that was on a little transparency with this little heart here with the story. The next day is the return of Happy and Buzz. Those are our elves, and they are always up to crazy antics. And so this was when they arrived. I just backed that heart on the other side with some pictures and sort of overlaid them. And then I made on my Cricut this little cutout. So it's like a little flap project. So each of their days that they do something crazy are our favorites. I didn't take pictures every single day, but every time they do something that we think is fun, I'll put a picture in here, and this will go throughout the whole season. So if I end up with enough pictures, some might go on top. I'll add some embellishments in here, and this will sort of keep growing throughout the season. So there's that little flip page. And I got these little they're little slide-in tabs, and they're just a little plastic tab, and they have adhesive. I don't know if you can see that really well, but they have adhesive strip that runs on both sides, so you can sandwich them between two papers so that you can just pop them in your album when you have an element like this, and it just adds the 3 holes that are needed for the rings there. They're really handy. I've used quite a few this year. I used it on my Reason Why page and used it here. So if you don't have some of those, it's a really handy thing to have, especially for December daily. Next, day 8 was Christmas cards, writing our Christmas list to Santa. And my kids were pretty humble this year. They didn't ask for a whole lot from Santa, but I have copies, of course, of their letters because their originals are long gone and been mailed off or sent off with our elves, actually, to the North Pole. So I just make a copy, and I make them a little smaller so they'll fit in a pocket. And then my daughter drew a picture to go with her letter to Santa this year. So then those all just tuck into this pocket, so they're a nice little keepsake. And then I just wrote a little bit about all their dreams coming true, and how really all I want for Christmas this year is here with these 2 little kiddos and how happy they are with this season. And then just a picture of them with their letters. They're so proud. They both wrote their own this year, so that was a really big deal. This next page, I always try to include some of our ornaments. Our Christmas tree tells a story from the beginning to the end, not to the end, till at this point. And I've received ornaments from my mom for years, and my kids each receive an ornament each year. And so I thought it was important to start telling some of the stories of these ornaments. So day 9 is the story of the ornaments. So each number here correlates with one of the numbers on the pictures here and here. And they're just pictures of our ornaments. And I tried to look through last year's December daily and the years before to make sure which ones I had covered, and I just picked new ones to talk about and write a little information about them so the kids have that story someday. Page 11, I'm waiting for a big photo to be printed there. I have it ready. It's going to be my wrapping day because that day I started wrapping a lot of presents. So I have a picture of my wrapping paper that's going to go there. And day 11, also I have a big picture that I'm waiting on for day 11, and that's just tucked there because I know I want an embellishment. It's just barely tacked down just so I don't lose it. Day 12 was a pretty low-key day. I volunteered in the kids' classrooms. I didn't really do too much that day. Day 12 is a letter to them. So just sort of outlining where they are and how proud of them I am, and kind of just a sentimental little mom letter to them. It's 2 pages. And then I put some pictures of them from that day when I went to their classrooms in the morning when I saw them. So that's all I did for that day, was just their letter. So it's a real simple day. On the back side of that is 13, and 13 tonight is the night that we are going to go visit Santa Claus, and we're also combining that with our lights festival that we do each year. So we'll go visit Santa Claus, grab a quick bite to eat, grab a quick bite to eat, probably take the kids and either get some ice cream or some popcorn from the popcorn company downtown, and then we will drive around and look at all the Christmas lights. So I will have photos that go in here and some journaling about day 13. And this was another product play piece from last year. And that was also on my prep pages, so you've seen that. And here's just a cute little tag that I made with Santa and the 13. And here comes Santa Claus, and then I'll fit my photos in here. And then 14 will be our family movie night, so I'm getting ready for that. And who knows what where the rest will take us. But these are my prep pages that are kind of ready. And we'll see where they're needed and where I want to pull those in and go from there. You can see there's several that I haven't used still. There's a little pocket, maybe do something with our Christmas card there, I'm not sure. I know I want to tell this story of All I Want for Christmas Are My Two Front Teeth because we are losing all of our teeth around here. Seems we're losing a new one every couple days, so that story's got to go in there someplace. And I know we have a date night coming up, so that is going to go in there, and then we'll have Christmas. But my album is already getting quite full, and we've got a lot of room to still grow. And I hope that if any of you are following along and doing December Daily also, that it's going well for you. And if you're not doing it during the season, a lot of people don't. I hope you're taking good notes, and I hope you're just enjoying your holiday season, and I hope everyone has a fantastic time. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you again in a few days.